Big topics, big stories, and big news. The Big Rich Show. It happens here. Nothing in life is guaranteed, and tomorrow doesn't promise you anything. So tonight's guest, No Mansfield, lives by the motto, be happy and nice to everyone, human and animal alike. And this is apparent in his band Revolushn, an indie psych rock band. Their current single, Electric, will kind of open your eyes to life, love, and space in this fluid world. With chants You Can't Stop Us, Revolushn and No want to say you can do anything that you want. This planet is run by fools, but they can't stop us. I couldn't have said it better, No. So join us next. Why? Because it happens here. And welcome to the Big Rich Show, guys. Tonight, riding shotgun with me is none other than No's Mansfield from Revolushn. And it's my pleasure and honor to have you on, brother. How you doing tonight, No?
Oh, the pleasure's mine, Rich. Really. I'm doing good.
Awesome. Yeah, and you know me, folks. I'm an honest engine, man. I cannot lie. And I did not chop down the cherry tree, but we did have a recording issue. So if we seem like we're a little drunk, maybe we are, because this is take two.
When I started, I was like up here.
You know, I'm just kidding. Well, anyways, No comes to us tonight, not just to talk about anything and everything, but we're also going to highlight their song, their single that they just came out with, and they also have a music video that goes along with that, and it's titled Electric. And they released that on April Fool's Day, April 1st.
That's right.
Was there a little bit of a thing behind releasing it on April 1st?
Well, it was kind of, we had set about 4 dates for releasing it and kept missing them. So then we thought, oh, well, we'll do it on April Fool's Day and nobody will believe us.
Yeah, we'll set it for April Fool's. No one will believe, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it doesn't come out, we can just be April Fools.
Yeah, right? See, we had a backup.
We covered both angles. I like it. I like it. I know we talked about a lot of stuff, but we'll go here. Fans, this song, you know, it really, if you listen to the meaning, and not only the meaning, just from the drums to the guitar to the saxophone play, which we could talk about later, this song just meshes, man. And what did it take for you guys to get to that point to call this the finished product with Electric?
Like 4 times we recorded it. This is the 4th time that we went into the studio and said, okay, let's get this right. And it started just very organically. I just walked in the studio one night and started playing it. So it was just one of those types of songs. But then I think what happened was we played it live real early on. And and sometimes if I want to see how a song goes and I don't have all the lyrics done, I'm really good at, like, and she was going to rage well in John, she's fine, yeah. I was like, I'm singing. I can work out melodies, and if we're playing at a bar, there's 3 drunk people,
Right.
But we did it live for several months before we recorded it the first time. And then we went and recorded it like we do it live, and then realized, wait a minute, you can't make it that long. We have long sections. We jam out parts of it. And so anyway, by the 3rd time that we went in the studio and recorded it, it was pretty close to where it was going to be at. Mm-hmm. And then the last time, and shout out to Aaron Connor from Cypress Studios in Kansas City. He and I went into the studio and we locked the door and just worked on one song for 4 days.
Wow.
And got it to where what you hear now.
Amazing. And it's a great song. And fans, you know me, man. I will say it if I don't like it, I let you know. I'll say, yeah, it's a great song, but I don't like it. This is a great song, and I love it. So,
It's an honor for us. Yeah,
no,
really is.
I mean, like I told you before you got on, I had spent an hour just listening to, some of your music. I listened to that one several times over and over, and then it took me, and there was one from 2017. I can't quite remember the name. It was really good, but the one,
Little Red Dolls.
no, that was the other one that stuck out, Little Red Dolls, and I wanted to ask you about that. And I know when we talked about it briefly, we didn't catch any of that. So, um, you want to?
There was another one that was popular, was Dinosaurs.
Yes, that is it. The world is, yeah, we are controlled by dinosaurs.
Yeah, the world is ruled by dinosaurs.
And
Big
what,
and mean.
what I pictured was like that corporate feud, that Illuminati, that these
Yeah.
dinosaurs that are controlling the money laundering, the money traders and things of that sort. So yeah, that was a great song. Yes. But what? How did you get to Little Red Dolls?
Oh, I want to tell you one little thing on dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I wrote that one on GarageBand in the back of a tuk-tuk riding around Thailand, in this little town in Thailand. And for 10 cents, you get in these tuk-tuks with like 45 other people in the back of this little, pickup truck.
Right.
It's driving down the road like this with the back hang. And first time I'd ever heard GarageBand, I had on my phone. And I heard that beginning melody, and I went, yeah, okay. And started writing on this little piece of paper I had. That's how Dinosaurs came about.
Wow. That's a good song.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that one thoroughly.
Yeah. So Little Red Dolls, that one is really unique in that I was one of my first cover bands I was ever in. I was working with a woman named Jackie Endy, and she's a super fantastic singer and writer too. And she wrote that song. Now the band was a top 40 band, so we weren't supposed to do originals, but we did that one anyway. And then the band broke up after about a year. I didn't see her for 30 years, and we connected. And one of the first things we asked each other was, "Hey, you remember that song, Little Red Dolls?" And then, lo and behold, I can remember stuff forever, like camel or something, or elephant.
Elephants.
Yeah, but she found the lyrics from 30 years ago. They had the data on it. Once she found that, I said, we got to record that song. And but she didn't want to sing it, so she didn't tell me that until after we had all the music recorded.
Right.
So then I said, okay, fuck it, I'll learn how to sing it.
Okay. Well, you learned how to sing it well. It's a good song, man.
Yeah, it really is. It's an awesome tune. It's about the Little Red Dolls where it tells you how clever she is. She went through a short phase of heroin during that time. And she said that she stayed up all one night, and then that morning she was having these visions, and she had dolls all over, and her mother had moved them, and she didn't realize it. It's like, where did they go, right? But it's sort of a fantasy, almost a druggy fantasy, but it's so clever, the melodies.
Yeah. That's what it's all about, man. It is cleverly telling a story.
Yeah.
It piques interest and intrigue. It's like I was telling you earlier, we talked off camera. When I first listened to Electric, I listened to the vocals, and then I would try and listen, pay attention to the drums, the guitar, and then that saxophone, and then everything else that's added in. And man, it is a musical masterpiece. I mean, you guys really put it together. And so that, and folks, if you get a chance, like I've said this with many artists that we've had on, but go listen to Electric. And you can find that. You can go to their website. It's revolushn.com. And it's simple stuff. And Revolushn is REVOLUN, right? Or no, SHN.
SHN, yeah.
SHN instead of the regular how it ends.com. and they have it there. You can find it on YouTube, and I'm sure you guys got it SoundCloud,
Oh yeah, all the
Facebook,
everywhere.
Instagram. So
Spotify.
look up Revolushn. Check that song out. And that's going to be what I will call your intro drug to Revolushn, because then you're going to want to hear another one and another one and another. So, and they've got plenty for you to listen to. So, do you guys plan on touring at all towards the end of the year?
Yeah. So, you know, it kind of depends on everything right now, but if to do it right, it takes about planning of about 2 or 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So once we know places are going to open up again, then we'll work it out.
Good deal.
And mainly in America to start with, but we've had some offers to go to England and France. So, like I said, if the way we look at it, how much can we afford? It's not how much are we going to get paid. It's how much can we afford to blow.
They would love you in Europe, and I'm sure they do. I've got a friend over in Germany who actually he gets interviews for me over in Europe. And I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they're called Jaya the Cat. And they're really big over there in Europe. And man, you guys kind of run a similar path.
Really?
Yeah, because they use all kinds of instruments. And they'll get out there and they use the cowbell in some of their songs, and it's very interesting. And they as well are more like you guys remind me, like, each message stands for something in your songs, and they're the same way. Yeah. They have one song that's called, I think, "Sweet Euro Trash." And their video opens up with them, drunk laying on a, park bench over in Europe, and we're what they call sweet Euro trash, and it's a play on how some people are looked at, but it's so cleverly done. You would like it. They're called Giant.
Well,
you guys kind of remind me, the two of you guys there's similar ties there musically.
There's really a lot of good music out there nowadays.
There's so much good music. We have I'm glad that, like I said, I'm glad that I had you. It's my honor. I'm glad I had you on tonight, man. I mean, what you guys do is iconic, and it touches a lot of people, whether you believe it or not, brother. Those songs.
Well, we care about it a lot. I mean, it's not. I mentioned before that we don't kind of look at it like there's very little commercial aspect to what we're doing, right? It's more like we want to try to make it as good as possible, and there's like our songs, like I said with Electric, God, we've had 4 release dates for that thing, and we're not going to do it. Why? Once you put it on the internet, it's out there forever, baby.
Oh yeah, it's a done.
I have friends who will just put stuff on the internet just to have something out there. And I'm like, dude, hold off on it, because people now, and that's the other thing, people's taste is way more sophisticated than it used to be.
Oh yeah.
They're used to hearing good music. Mm-hmm. It's all over the place.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like you said, once you put it out there, it's out there, and people always remember the last thing you do. It sticks in their mind.
Yeah.
And if and you can be the best band in the world, and if you turn somebody off with a song, you could have just lost a fan.
Yeah. And they're, we're really lucky that way, in that we have our own record company and do our own PR and everything, and afford it. Thank God I would, and not for long. But it's really important. I can think. Oh, is it moving again?
Yeah, all you gotta do is bring it down. There we go. Oh, there we
go. This thing is really being in the pot. Oh, here, I'll get out some more gum.
There we go.
There. Oh, that's stable. All right. So, I mean, we care about. I mean, it's an honor for us when people like it, because we kind of don't expect it. It's doing it what if they like this one? And you know, I don't care how long you've been in the business, you're always kind of a little, you know, paranoid about
Oh yeah.
if you care about what you're doing. I think that's what makes it good, right?
Right. I mean, you want to give the people the best product. You want, you know, you've talked about before. You're about, you know, it's about love and happiness and uplifting.
Yeah.
And you know, all that together. And so yeah, when you're a grinder, one, you know, and a grinder, what I call a grinder is someone who's played the circuit and the bars, and they're still doing it to this day, and they're putting out A caliber music on their own label. You know, I mean, everyone wishes they could do that, but they don't understand the blood, sweat, and tears that in years that you put in to get to where you're at right now. You know,
Oh yeah.
and it wasn't for you lack of trying any other ways. I'm sure there were other roads and avenues you tried, but there's nothing better at the end of the day putting out something that the fan loves and knowing that you had 100% control.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
You know,
That's
good for Revolushn as a whole. You know, the entire group of you guys. So,
yeah. We have a really good group right now. I mean, well, it's funny because we have this saying, another Corona reference, right? But once you join Revolushn, it's like a virus; you never get rid of it. Right? So no one's ever joined and quit Revolushn, but they're just, you know, Bobby Killerbee's in Kansas City, and you know, what's his name? D Blues is in Texas, and Laura's in New York, and we still talk all the time. And when we can get together, but we have sort of a core live band, and luckily we don't have more people show up because I'd have to let them play. But yeah, the core live band right now, there's, I hate to say, because Jason and Guinevere were the bass player and guitar player in the last live iteration, and we just kind of both got busy with other stuff, and then they couldn't play with us, and then Neil Nyberg, the bass player.
yeah, we talked.
I met on the doing that again. God damn it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, so Neil, there's a pretty strong singer-songwriter community in San Francisco, and at one of the places, there's about 6-7 places where they have open mics, and it's 20% really, please turn it off. Another 20% they're not bad, and 50% maybe are pretty good, and 10% are fucking amazing, right? And you can go in these bars and you see these guys just signing up to play for nothing. That at first because I was always a pro musician in Hollywood, and you know, people would say, "What do you play?" And I'd say, "Whatever they pay me for," you know. So to when I first started hanging out at these places and realized these people just do it because they love it. God, that's what I'm missing, you know. And that was 6-7 years ago. And anyway, on that circuit, I met Neil, and he just called me up one day and said, "We heard you know how to play bass. When we need a bass player." And I was like, "Yeah, cool, okay." It's got the Nella Morris sort of. He calls it a glam punk reggae band, but it's not that glam, I don't think. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I play bass for his band. He plays bass for my band.
Okay.
Hey. And so Neil's really a great person, wonderful. And you got to talk to him sometime about conspiracies. He knows them all, and he knows these guys, the writers of these books.
Oh wow, yeah, I'd love to get in depth. I'll have them on the Big Rich show.
I'll hook you guys up.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And then with Kim, who's I had this song. We haven't released it yet. It's called Fire. That's almost like I have this idea of seeing Humphrey Bogart asking this girl, hey, we want a chair in the back, and we're going to talk about spy stuff. Anyway, it needed a female vocal, and I was just on Facebook once, and I just ran across this girl singing, and I'm like, holy shit, she can actually sing. And I messenger it, you know, and she right, you know, when guys out of the blue message girls or women on Facebook, it's usually pretty stupid.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, this is a paying session, right? This is professional. I'm not a creep. I'm married. You know, I just want to have you sing for us. And so it turns out she teaches vocals at School of Rock.
Okay.
So I went and met her there, and I took my recording rig, and she was such a pro. She did. It's hard when you, like, there's 3 choruses, right? So she sings, and it's like 12 bars of this chorus. And then I'll say, okay, now double that exact voice that you just did. And then I'll say, okay, now give me a harmony of that. And so each chorus, she sings 6 times, right?
Oh, wow.
3 different parts. And 2 hours, she did the whole thing. We never stop. I go pretty fast in the studio because I've been doing it so much. But I usually have to slow down for other people. She was, boom, right there.
Wow.
And then I thought, wow, she's pretty good. So then I said, hey, Bundles, our keyboard player, wants to take vocal lessons. Would you do that privately? She said, sure. So we hired her to give Bundles vocal lessons. And then she sang on another song. And then I said, hey, you want to join a band? Yeah, sure. So, and then we did a concert, a benefit concert. Actually, it was one of the few times I played close to my house here. Mm-hmm. And it was really a cool gig. They, you know, it was outside at night, and they had a good light show, and there was 300-400 people there. So she thought, oh, this is a pretty cool band. And so then, we did 2 gigs in San Francisco between that time and the time where we played the Globe Theater, where we filmed Electric. Mm-hmm. And she couldn't make those, right? So we did them without her. And then, so her first gig was a concert close to here with a bunch of people. Her second gig was the Globe Theater in LA with 1,200 people. Wow. And TV and all that shit. So I guess she got pretty nervous. That's my hometown playing, so I was just,
another day at the office for you.
Yeah, right. Because I know so many that, there's probably 100 people I know.
Right.
So
that makes it a lot easier too when you see familiar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Now, what was this deal? I want to get the deal with the doctor and the Red Army that I was reading. I was reading some of your stuff over that Jimmy had sent me, and it just, for some reason, that's sticking in my head. Is that somebody that's in the band that was actually a doctor in the Red Army, or is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that's Bondles, our keyboard player, and she's also the one that does the videos.
Oh, amazing.
She puts them all together. In fact, she won't let us see it until it's done, which is kind of annoying sometimes. Okay. She's so good at it that we're, it's funny because we all, like, at the beginning, I want you to put here, I want you to have me standing like this in the sunshine. And she's like, yeah. And then she doesn't use any of that. Right. But they're always so good that we're always like, oh, okay. But, yeah, that's, so anyway, yeah, she's my wife, right?
Oh, well, that makes it even better.
Yeah, I don't have to pay her to be in the band. But, so, yeah, we've been married for a while, but we were married like 10 years, and she told me that she had a degree in concert piano, but she never played. And, I get a lot of people that tell me, oh, good player. They aren't. And so what happened was I was driving down the road one day, and I saw a yard sale, and there was this sort of small half piano, acoustic, sitting in this guy's yard. And I thought, I'll go look at it. And I stopped, and I went up and played it. It was in tune. It sounded really nice, and it was $100. Fuck that, I'm taking it, right? So I drag it home, and she's like, what do you got there? Where are you gonna put it? Right here. It's a piano. It sounds great. It's $100. And so I had to put it in her studio where she does her, because she's an artist too. She's a painter.
Mhm.
And she, so one day I wake up and I hear this da 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 da, like scales, but not just one hand, both hands, and like all the way up and all the way down the keyboard. Oh, well, she knows scales. The next day she's doing blah, 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 and she's going from the top, like instead of going ba da 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 da, she's going ba 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 like this.
Okay.
Then she's doing minor scales and diminished scales and flying. And I'm like, fuck, you didn't tell me you could play like that. I did. I said, okay, well, okay, you're in the band then. And she had never played with a band. So, and she'd never played. Oh, I said, okay, just play and see. She'd look at me, what? How do you do that? Here's the one, like technically she can outplay me in a heartbeat, but she can read perfectly. But if you say play a jam and C, she's like, what?
Right.
And that's 4 years ago when she started playing with us. Now she can do it. In fact, she's really good. That's the thing.
Come down about just a hair on your camera. Try it nudged up a little more. I'm still getting your face, but it's like yeah, there we go. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, there I can see the
I
shape.
could turn the lights on, I guess, too. Does it get dark?
Not too bad. I mean, these cameras are hard. They're a little foggy anyways.
Yeah.
Unless you have the HD program on your computer. But it's fine. I mean, we get the gist of it. We know that we're talking to the legendary No today, so.
That's a good one.
So that's very interesting. Wow, I didn't expect to have that coming. So now, if you didn't know, now you know that the keyboardist is No's wife.
Yeah, and so she was actually so when I'm so proud of her. She's been kicked out of the Communist Party when she was 18 because they accused her of doing something. She didn't do it, but she got mad at him, so she told them the bosses to fuck off, so they kicked her out of the party. And her father was a party boss, so he kicked her out of the house. And then at a party, she met this guy, an older than her. I think she was 19 or something. He was probably 30. Anyway, he leaves and he calls her up and says, "You're wasting your life there working in a factory. You're super smart. So come to Uzbekistan and I'll get you in medical school," because that was the thing. Right? And she thought he was BSing, but it turned out he was the president of Uzbekistan.
Oh, wow.
So he got her into the best school, and she went to school there and she was a maniac. She's compulsive, so she was really good at it. Got her degree and became the chief, the head of this hospital in Tashkent, Uzbekistan.
Wow.
Yeah, and was the head of this great living back in the day. And they did black market medical, right? So medical was free, but you had to go through the system and you'd wait in lines and stuff. But if you had cash, you just go and you pay the doctor cash right there, and the party would give her this hospital to run in like 4 hours a day. She had to work for the hospital, and the other time, 4 hours, she'd have these cash paying customers. Like, a lot of, anyway, it was all the rich people who like abortions and stuff you can't have a kid and all this stuff. And just because they were rich and they didn't want to have to wait in line. So it's wild because I went there to Uzbekistan with her about 5 years ago, 6 years ago maybe. And she said, come there and, we'll do a whole physical on you and, it'll be cheap. And so we go to this hospital and I'm there with the optometrist and they're doing all this stuff. And my wife says, how much? And she goes, whatever. And my wife pulls out a stack of money like this big, and hands it to the woman. And that's how you pay them with cash right there. It was the damnedest thing. Anyway, she hands this guy like this much. And I think he just took, I don't know, he didn't do that much. But I said, Jesus, how much did you pay him? She goes, like $3. It's, yeah, so I got this full, complete physical with all the blood work and everything. And I think it was $97.
Wow, that is
Good, you know. But in World War II equipment,
right.
like the X-ray machines, definitely World War II.
Hey man, as long as I can tell you if everything's functioning right, that's all that matters.
Yeah, right.
I'm with you. All right, well, fans, man, we got to learn a little bit that we weren't expecting tonight, huh? So there we go. You never know on the Big Rich Show. I can pull it out of them. I get things that they usually don't talk about.
Yeah.
But let's
You're
talk
like,
about, go ahead. What did you say, brother?
oh, you're a likable guy, Rich. So
Hey, thank you very much. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody tells me I'm gregarious and that they feel like they can open up to me because they feel like they know me after 10 minutes. I don't know.
yeah,
I had that curse or a blessing as well, I guess. I love everyone though. I've gone through life. I don't think there's a person that I met that I don't can say that I would do anything for anyone, man. If I am capable and I have it, my hand is always outstretched to someone who is looking for a helping hand to be lifted up, taught, whatever it may be, you know. And I've lived my entire life like that. So, you know, I think that's what we're missing right now in the world is just everyone having their eyes open, being awoke and awakened to what and how we're really living, and love. There's no love. I mean, they'll tell you, I mean, who wants to give 30 and 40 years to maybe get 10 enjoyable? You know,
yeah, right.
we're going through giving these trillionaires our 30 and 40 years of the best times of our lives to maybe get 10 years worth of enjoyment, travel, or time.
Yeah,
9 times out of 10, when you get to that point, most people aren't living more than 2 or 3 years past it. You know,
I know, right? It's like out of that 30 years of drudgery, the last 5, it's the drudgery was almost what's keeping you alive.
right? Exactly.
It's forcing you to go to work, and you wouldn't do it otherwise, right? And so then when you quit,
Yeah, it does. And I told myself that no longer will I do that. I'm going to move forward and I want to share my voice and platform with other like-minded people. And this is my passion and this is what I'm going to do. And whether I make a penny or nothing, it doesn't matter because one day I believe that karma and hard work always pay off, you know, and if you keep giving back and loving, then eventually it will come back to you, you know. No longer will I give in, and that's why I have an independent business as well. But still, you fight the big guy because I get my product from the big guy, even if I'm independent. I still have to order from the powers that be, and at the end of the day, they have the control, you know. But I think you understand what I'm saying there.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Man, I've had a great time with you tonight. Like you said, I mean, it's been a smooth ride, and hopefully I'll be able to salvage some of the first one and use that as a little click, you know, and have it in here and there. But with that said,
Hey, Rich. So one thing I want to do is I'm going to do a shout out for the Mars Society.
absolutely, brother.
Yeah, so I worked for those guys a while back, and I have the market cornered on Mars habitats on Earth.
Okay.
I built all 3 of them all around the world. There's one in the North Pole, there's one in Utah, and one in Iceland.
Really?
And, yeah, and they're simulators. So NASA goes there and they send astronauts, and you practice living on Mars.
Wow, that's amazing. I would love to see that, man.
The MarsSociety.org. They have pictures of them.
Sweet. I got to check that out. Everyone that comes on the show runs the Gauntlet of Five.
I heard about this.
The Gauntlet
Are you
of
ready, my
Five.
I'm ready.
Here we go. I have No Mansfield ready to run the Gauntlet of Five with Big Rich. First question: does Bigfoot exist?
Yeah, but not on this planet.
Okay, I'll take that. Have aliens been to Earth?
Of course.
Okay, I like that answer. Did we land on the moon?
Questionable. So there's there's strong evidence that we did not, right?
Right.
But there's also, I forgot what theory it is, but when you're the only guy out of 1,000 saying we didn't do it, you really have to look at, are you sure? Because I worked for NASA for a while, and I know people who worked on that moon landing, right? And they're friends of mine. They're not fucking lying about this. Now there's the chain of command. Yeah, maybe they could have faked it, but I personally have not seen good pictures of the lander from Earth. You should be able to see it.
Sure.
Right.
I would think you could.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so I worked with, when I was in the NASA period, there was a group, this not 100 millionaire type guy, Bill Bass, wanted to do a moon mission and send a small sat up there and a small robot and land right next to the LEM and go and pick up the flag because it got knocked over when they left. I know it's going to be a big PR thing. It didn't pan out. Let's just say that. But other than that, maybe I just haven't looked in the right spots, but I've never seen any. You would think with a strong telescope, you should be able to see it.
You would think so, man, because I know with the telescopes we have now, and I've been at my friend's house, and he lives out in the country, and we can get a good, nice look at a big full moon, and I mean, we can see. I mean, almost like you can reach out and touch the landscape on some.
Yeah.
And if we've got rovers on Mars, why haven't we put rovers on the moon? You know, even just to search or, like you said, pick the flag back up. You know.
Well, the Chinese just did put a rover there, but they put it on the dark side, which was really interesting.
Right. Yeah, I saw that, and I also saw that Israel tried to land there supposedly, and it crashed. So.
Yeah.
All right. Very interesting. Number 4. Have we or can we time travel?
Well, that's a tricky question. Like, it's a little broad because in a way we're time traveling right now. Right?
You are absolutely correct.
Yeah. Can we go backwards or forwards? I think mathematically you could go backwards. I don't know that you can go forward though. If you use, what's his name? Stephen Hawking had some equations about that.
Yes.
That it's theoretically you could mathematically say, yeah, you could go back, but I don't think you can go forward in that sense. Now, is there stuff we don't know going on? Yeah. And like I said, we're time traveling right now, so in a way,
Yes, we are.
I guess the answer is yes.
Okay. I would say, yeah, that's a good one. Everyone answers different. No one answer has ever been the same on any of these, and I switch them up too. The last one I'm going to throw at no tonight is: are there parallel universes of our current reality?
I'd say mathematically you would say yes. That's what string theory proves.
Sure.
Is it an exact? Well, it's so. Here's the. I can answer that with a. I forgot who said this, but if you believe the universe is infinite, then anything you can imagine is true, because it's infinite.
That's right.
There's a Noah and a Rich sitting somewhere in another, and I'm asking you questions, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, and I'm in the rock band.
Yeah, that's right. You got the look, dude. I'm telling you.
Oh, man, thank you, sir. There we have it, folks. He ran the Gauntlet of Five, and he actually gave some good input and good feedback on that. Bigfoot, yes, but another dimension. So I do believe, I am a firm believer in multiple dimensions, and I believe that we, with the right influences, I believe that, you can actually, I believe we could do it in our sleep, in our dreams. Our dreams were actually tethering and going other places. And I feel
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think there's that other 90% of the brain that we're not using. It's there for something.
imagine if we could use it. I'm sure we could. We'd have all kinds of out of body experiences.
So I have this theory that that there are time travelers or just entities that appear human but can do anything. Like can literally do anything, right? And it's about a ratio of about 1 in a billion. So there's about 7 or 8 people walking around. People, I'd say, is a loose sense. 7 or 8 of these entities walking around at any one time on Earth, kind of like Jesus, if you want to believe that he was one of them, or whoever, Buddha, whatever you want to say. But if you're one of them, you ain't saying anything.
Right.
What, you're gonna brag about it? You can do anything.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you just don't know about them, but they're actually here.
I mean, here's the thing, man.
And they're in the human form
Sure,
for some reason.
they have to. I'm sure they are, and I'm sure they could probably take any form they wanted.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if to see where we've come and where we've evolved just from the 50s, the last 70 years, 19
Yeah.
to 2020, we can't discount anything because our technological boom the last 70 years is mind-blowing. We went from watching Captain Kirk on the USS Enterprise being beamed down the planets with these flip phones that he could see and talk to other people, to actually having these flip phones talking to people. And I never in a million years thought we would have anything like that as a kid when I saw Captain Kirk,
Right.
I never fathomed it. And here we are now. It's like no one can live without them. We're sheeple. We walk around, everyone's like this, their head down, and they're in that thing. But no, it's been a pleasure, man. You've been one of my favorite talks in the last few months.
Oh, well, my pleasure is mine, Rich. It's really nice talking to you. I mean, I appreciate you having me on and stuff.
Oh, hey, sweet, man. And I appreciate it. And like I say, everybody that comes on the Big Rich Show and is a part of the BRRS-MEDIA going forward, to me, you're family now. So we're all together to, uplift, love, and that's what it's about, people. And get out there and check out Electric and every other song that Revolushn has put out. Would you like to close with anything, brother?
We're just spreading the love, we have no judgment on people. We just want everybody to be safe and happy.
Safe and happy. And let's hurry up, do what they say. Let's get this coronavirus out of the way so we can get back to living life and rubbing shoulders and, doing what we do as the human species. So with that said, everyone, God bless, stay safe, and have a great night.
All right.
Racing on the walls, lighting on the window, little red doors.
That until I go over. I just hit re-recording again. Holy crap. Shit. So where do we take it from here? Because man, we had a good 30-something minutes plus.
Yeah.
Well, man, I guess we could try. I'll do a re-intro, and then
Sure.
and then we can just talk the basics, and I'll see what I have. because I'm a perfectionist too. Man, I am so sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
I cannot believe that stopped recording on us like that. It's going.
You want to hear something funny that happened with your twin,
What's that?
Aaron Connor? When we went to record the first album, I had 15 songs that we were going to put on their album, and I brought the hard drive, and I record the basics here in my studio, and then we go there and mix it and everything. Well, Aaron, I had a week and a half block booked in the studio, and within the first 5 minutes, Aaron I realized I forgot the power supply for the hard drive, and Aaron says, "Oh, I have one," and he plugged it in and went, blew up. So now we got a week and a half booked in the studio and no songs.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so this is lightweight compared to that.
I'm so sorry. Now I feel like a fool. I
Oh no, dude, it's like
I looked down and it was blinking, and I'm like, "What? It stopped recording on us." Okay.
that's technology. It waits till you really need it, and then it fucks you.
All right. Well, let me throw us a real quick intro.
Yeah.
And we'll go into it again, and we don't have to carry it out as long, because I maybe can splice some stuff in. We'll just do it here. Whew. All right. Damn internet.
Take two.